Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Wraith, and today I'm going to be going over my top 3 picks of powerful models in Middle-earth strategy battle game. Now this is my kind of week's top picks over the games that I've been playing, so don't be offended if your ideal model is not on here. I will be making more lists as the weeks go on, but these are the ones that have stood out to me over my past many games I've been playing. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. To qualify for this list, basically I want them to mainly be, I'm going to start with warrior models. They've got to be relatively cheap in points, so nothing too crazy like a 35 point infantry model or warrior model. And they've got to be effective and have some kind of use to them, be special in some way, and be, I'd say game winning as well. But yeah, they're the qualifications really. So let's dive in and see our first pick. In the number 3 slot, we of course have the Rohan Royal Guard. Now, the reason I absolutely adore this unit is because he is ridiculously cheap compared to the normal Rider of Rohan, and he's so effective. It's an absolute brilliant unit, and they're terrifying, really terrifying, and they're very versatile, and they're so powerful. So, to start off, they are 10 points standard, and that is them with no horse, okay? So that's him, just stood on his 2 feet, running around like a fool. He is movement 6 because he's a human, he's fight 4, which is rather impressive for a human, 4+ shoot value, which is very important for later. He's strength 3, defense 6, 1 attack, 1 wound, courage 3. Now he comes with heavy armor, sword, and shield. Very impressive, very impressive. You can give him a banner for 25 points, and a horse for 5 points, and a throwing spear for 2 points. That's very crazy because him on a horse, he is now only 15 points. That is 1 point more than a Rider of Rohan. Yeah, very good. You can give him throwing spears, which I probably would suggest because they did quite well. So overall coming in at 17 points for a very good mounted model, but if you want to keep him cheap, just give him the horse. Okay, they're good on the charge. They've got bodyguard, so they don't need to be worrying about courage tests. You've got Theoden running around, so you should be fine. Just keep him alive and you'll be okay. So nothing scaring these blokes, and no trickery to have them be moved about by certain other factions. And their special rules is expert rider as well, so you can be picking up light objects, things like that. That's pretty handy at all. Like for objective-based games where you have to pick up light objects and things like that, you don't have to dismount. Their active ability is Arise, Riders of Theoden. If this model is within 12 inches of Theoden and has the cavalry keyword, so always stick them on a horse, then a model with this special rule receives +1 bonus to their fight value on the turn in which they charged. That is fantastic because they are now the same fight value as our lovely boys in Rivendell. That's right, elf warriors. He's the same fight as an elf on the charge. That is ridiculous. You're going to be outfighting most other factions, you're going to be tying with elves, and you're definitely going to be outfighting most of the evil factions. On top of that, you've got bodyguard, so you can get the charges off. It's absolutely blooming fantastic. He's also strength 4 on the charge because of the army bonus. That is absolutely bonkers. I absolutely love it. But it is best to keep this boy at least close to Theoden, but 12 inches is pretty flexible, so you should be okay. If you whack a throwing spear on this guy, you can be running in, throwing a spear at your enemy at strength 3, hitting on a 4+, potentially killing that enemy and moving on to the next poor unfortunate soul that is in your path. Absolutely love this model, highly rate him. Yeah, Royal Guard are fantastic. So that is the number 3 slot. Moving on, we have the number 2 slot. It is of course the Dead Marsh Specter. I think this model is absolutely fantastic. It's undead and a spooky boy, which is right up my street. I think he's fantastic in every way, shape and form. So bonus points for being a cool model. So what do we get when we bring this fantastic looking model? Well, he's a whopping 15 points, which is not cheap but not expensive, in my opinion, for what he could do. He's of course a spirit, so just be careful if you're going near Elrond. And he is of course Angmar. So, he's move 6, he is fight 2, not great at fighting, 4+ shoot value because, you know, you need that. Strength 3, defense 5, which is respectable, 1 attack, 1 wound, and courage 6. So he's not scared, one of the few things in Angmar that don't get scared too easy. He's got heavy armor and a sword. He's got the Blades of the Dead special rule, so he's attacking the opponent's courage rather than the defense. So you'd be surprised how killy he can be. Causes terror, of course. And he's got the thing that makes him fantastic. A fell light is in them. So, at any point during its move, a Specter can choose a single enemy model anywhere within 12 inches and line of sight. So that's a pretty decent range to be shooting across from behind your own battle line and at the enemy's battle line. This model must pass a courage test. And bearing in mind, you are playing an army that will have a Harbinger of Evil somewhere in your list, so they'll be taking a -1 penalty to their courage test. Absolutely fantastic. But we'll go over all that towards the end. On a fail, they make a full move under the control of the Spectre's controlling player's choice, so i.e. me if I was using him, to make a full move. That's crazy. Even if it has already moved, this move cannot be used to enter an enemy's control zone, perform actions that would cause direct harm to the target, such as yeeting itself off a cliff. It may also not be used to have the target dismount or lie down. Affected models may move no further that turn and may not use active abilities for the remainder of the move phase, so only the move phase. Now, the reason this guy did so well for me is because I always bring a Ring Wraith if I've got access to one, because I think they're fantastic, and they have a little spell called Drain Courage on top of their Harbinger of Evil special rule. So if you've got a Bannerman somewhere, like on the enemy's line, you can Drain Courage with that Bannerman. They can't resist it, and you're basically, unless they spike their rolls, putty in the hands of a dead Marsh Specter to just keep the banner away. On top of this, it's also effective against heroes. If you can Drain Courage or just chuck one out, one of the fell lights at a hero, hoping they fail, and it can shut down a hero. It's very, very good. I absolutely love it. You can put banners out of positions, you can get heroes to move out of position, or move them into a position where they will then get charged by the rest of your force. It basically lets you control your opponent's army for them. If you're going against a low courage army, so perhaps you are playing against Arnor or something like that, or another evil faction, these guys just laugh as they control the opponent's army. I think they're fantastic. And if they do get caught in combat and win, they're going to be winning the courage, so double points. I love them so much. Now, moving on to my personal number 1 slot for this week, we have got Blackguard of Badader. Yes, I think these guys are fantastic. They are 12 points per guy. They are part of Mordor's army list. They're Uruk-hais. They're so good. I love them so much. Some people think they might be a bit expensive, but I laugh and go 12 points. I'd take that all day. So, what do you get for 12 points? Well, movement 6. They're fight 4, because they're Uruk-hai. 4+ shoot value, not that you can shoot. Their strength 5. That is just ridiculous. Strength 5. They're going to be wounding so many things. They are also defense 6, so they don't go down too easy. They've got 1 attack, 1 wound, and courage 3. So the courage can be a bit of an issue, but hey ho, you'll be alright. Now, they come with heavy armor, sword, and shield. The shield is important because if he does get surrounded and things like that, he can opt to shield, which is rather important in my opinion for Middle-earth strategy battle game. The amount of times I'm holding an objective and I just don't need to die and I'll win, shielding is a very good option to have. You can give them a banner for 25 points. It's up to you if you do. I usually stick my banner on an orc or something and just pass it off to fellow orcs. But yeah, you can put a banner on him. The only other thing I suggest, which another player mentioned to me as well, is you can swap their sword for an axe. So that if you do go against Army of the Dead, which is a very, very popular army in tournaments, or just any high defense army, you can piercing strike, lose D3 defense, but you do go up to strength 6. So you can be wounding a fully armored Rivendell warrior at 4s on 4s. That's just nuts, okay? Yeah, I love them so much. I think they're fantastic. I wouldn't faint with them because you want to keep the fight for. If you're fighting elves, you can stab, I suppose, but I do like piercing strike quite a lot. Yeah, these guys make a fantastic front line to an army with spear supports. They also make a surprisingly good hammer, okay, because they come in with the amount of strength they've got. They do take things down. So they're very versatile, where they're tough enough to hold an objective, they're tough enough to be an anvil, and they're strong enough in combat to be some sort of a hammer, probably supported by some sort of cavalry as well. Yeah, I can't fault them. I think they're fantastic. So, there we go. Those were my top 3 picks for powerful models in Middle-earth strategy battle game for this week. Just remember, it was in no particular order really. They're all fantastic. But yeah, let me know what you think about the options I've picked. Do you love them? Do you hate them? Do you have a better suggestion that I should have put in this video? I mean, if you do, you don't ever know. They might turn up in the next video. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, do give it a like, so I know people like these kind of videos. And on top of that, if you're feeling especially saintly today, I can promise you that a Specter won't come and try and get you to move about if you do subscribe. I'm only joking. They probably will do it anyway. But if you do feel like subscribing, I think you're amazing. So yeah, even if you don't do any of those things, I still hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.